Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK back at you with another video here to bring a 6-game NBA main slate on Thursday. A couple of things before I get in the video. If you're new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos talking about NBA DFS as well as NFL DFS. I'm also running a weekly giveaway on this channel. How it works is all you have to do is leave a like and a comment in the video. It's one entry in the giveaway. Max one comment though per video. So it starts my Monday night showdown video that I uploaded at the beginning of the week. We'll go throughout the week. I'll end my Monday night showdown video at the end of the week. So however many videos I've uploaded for the week, I'm going to give away that many times. If I have 10 videos uploaded for the week, I'm going to give away 10 times. And again, the winner receives $20 PayPal for myself. But with that out of the way, let's jump in the video. So first, look back at my lineup here from Christmas Day. So this is my final lineup with Westbrook, D'Angelo Russell, Giannis, House, Willie Cauley-Stein, Burks, Harrell, and JaMychal Green. So, a little bit tilting because my original lineup, I had Damian Lee in there, and I was just thinking about, I was like, man, I'm just too scared to fade Giannis, and I pivoted to get Giannis in, and he had one of his worst games of his career. I think he shot the ball like 25%. So pretty tilting, and then Lee goes for over 50, right? I think Lee outscored Giannis himself. So yeah, if I would have stuck to my original, probably would have had a pretty solid night. Again, if you guys watched my videos, the live streams, I really liked the Golden State guys. That Golden State-Houston game. Westbrook was really solid. D'Angelo Russell was okay. Lee was really good. Cauley-Stein was good. Burks is a little disappointing. Again, Daniel House was solid. And then as far as the Clippers guys, Montrez, again, nothing special. He was okay. JaMychal Green was out of the rotation. He only got like 5 or 6 minutes. Really surprised about that. But all in all, it's going to be a losing night. So let's see if we can get back on track here for the 6-game slate for Thursday. So let's look at some numbers really quick. Okay, so there's 6 games, 3 over-unders are out right now. We got Wizards, Pistons at 231. Pistons favored by 6. Knicks, Nets at 221. The Nets are by 7. Trailblazers, Jazz at 220 with the Jazz here by 5.5 points. But let's just jump into the slate. So let me go to the right one here. All right, so let's start with center today. And Karl-Anthony Towns is still questionable at 10.5K. He's missed, the last 4 contests. So obviously this is something we have to monitor. If he misses, we can look to some of those secondary Minnesota pieces, but they got back to that. They ran like a deep rotation again, which is concerning for DFS purposes. So if Towns plays, I think he's an okay option. I still don't know if I would get there on this slate, but I think he's obviously would be in play as a spend up. Now these Detroit guys seem pretty appealing here, and again, the best spot against Washington, Drummond at 10K is has been a little bit inconsistent. A little bit up and down, but this is where he could have his upside game against Washington. So, and they are missing some pieces too. They're missing Luke Kennard, Bruce Brown's questionable, Blake Griffin is questionable as well. I think he's more on the probable side. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, probable. So, both teams are pretty shorthanded, but the Wizards are even more shorthanded in the front court. They're very, very thin. So this is a game where Drummond could feast. So definitely, I'm considering him there at 10K. Rudy Gobert at 8.9, that price is coming up to a point where don't know if I can get there. I think I would prefer paying extra $1,000 for Drummond, who I think has a lot more upside in that matchup against Washington. Porzingis, his price is up with, when Luka was out for those last, week and a half or so. Luka looks like he's going to be coming back for this one. So with Luka now back, I don't see myself getting to Porzingis at that price. Let's see, Whiteside at 7.7K, and him and Gobert, probably not for me. I don't mind that price on Whiteside, but I don't know if I'm going to get there myself. Now, Aldridge is a guy that I do like at that price. The minutes have been pretty consistent for him, except that game against the Clippers, which did blow out. But other than that, he's getting, 30 to 35-ish minutes. He's, had 48, 46, 65 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4 games. So he's definitely riding a hot streak here, and his price is not reflecting that. So I think LaMarcus Aldridge stands out as a really solid play there at that price. I also really like Julius Randle at 6.8. So we have Marcus Morris questionable once again. This is a good spot. The Nets play at a faster pace. So Julius Randle, again, the price isn't budging. I like him a good amount there. Blake Griffin as well at 6.8K. I do have some interest in. I believe it was just an illness he missed that last game with. So again, this is literally the best possible spot against Washington. So I have interest in Drummond. I also have interest in Blake at under 7K. Now, last game, he shot the ball really bad, 2 of 14, 27 minutes. But again, you can't get a better spot than this. So I do have some interest there in Blake Griffin at that price. Let's see. Jared Allen, I like a decent amount. Now, the concern with him is, again, they will, kind of ride the hot hand there at center. So if DeAndre Jordan is playing well, they give those minutes to Jordan. If Jared Allen's playing well, they give the minutes to Allen. Again, a little bit up and down. So maybe not so much for cash games, but if he's playing well and they extend him, he could get close to 30 minutes. And at this price, I could see a huge upside game. So I do like Jared Allen a good amount for GPPs. Steven Adams at 6.4 had over 50 fantasy points the last game. Now, I don't think we can expect that again. I think he's fine. I think I personally would rather play Jonas Valanciunas on the opposite side. I know he's been also a little bit up and down, but if he gets 25 to 30 minutes, I think he can definitely get us there, especially at this price. Like the price has gone down, and he's gotten almost 40 fantasy points in 4 straight games. So this is another situation like LaMarcus Aldridge where it's not reflecting his price, his recent performance. So I do have a good amount of interest there in Jonas Valanciunas as well. Mitchell Robinson at 5.9, I think, is only for GPPs. He is a guy that can get you there in limited time, but always has to deal with the foul trouble concerns, right? Fouled out those 2 games, had 5 fouls against Washington, so there's always a concern with him. He can never keep his hands to himself, kind of like Jaren Jackson Jr. Let's see, Rashawn Holmes had a big game the last time out. I'm a little bit, I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with this Sacramento front court with Holmes. Bagley got inserted back in the starting lineup, but played less minutes. They got Bielitsa too. Yeah, I mean, Holmes does have upside still in limited time, right? He has played 29-31 even the last couple of games, so 41-37 fantasy points. So I have no issue if you want to go there. Minnesota does run big, right? So I think he's a perfectly fine option at that price. Gorgie Jang, the price is coming up to him at 5.7. I still think you can consider him if Cat is out, but he's not the great value play like he was, a few games ago. Washington, again, they're super, super thin up front. That's why I do have interest in Drummond. I do have interest in Blake in a game that should be, it's the highest over-under right now. It's outright 231. Bagley, again, so I want to play him. I want to, but he only played 23 minutes the last game against Houston. So I don't know. It's a situation where if I knew Marvin Bagley was going to play 30 minutes, I would have a lot of interest in him. But I don't know if that's necessarily secure, right? 22, 27, 26, 23. So I think he's certainly in play for GPPs. If he's playing well, maybe it's extended a little bit more. Cash games, he's viable as well. But, I think he's a fine option. DeAndre Jordan, again, the reason why, Jared Allen's ceiling is somewhat capped is because they do have DeAndre Jordan. He played really well in the game against Atlanta, so they extended him to 26 minutes. So that's always a concern with these two centers is they're never going to play the huge minutes. They kind of will ride at the hot hand. So either perfectly fine. I think I like the the upside a little bit more there with Jared Allen though for like $1,000 more. Let's see, Mahimi at 4.8. Don't see the huge upside there in him. AP even at 3.7. If Mahimi gets in foul trouble, he's kind of their only other big that they could play. So I guess you don't hate that for GPPs. And that is really it. I mean, I guess Noah Vonleh, if Cat misses, he played 17 minutes that last game. He's almost mid-price. You can consider that. But that's really it for centers. Let's move on to power forward. Again, Porzingis, not super excited about him. It's looking like Luka's going to be back. Now, if I'll say Luka somehow doesn't play in this one, then I would really like Porzingis. But it's looking like Luka's going to be full go. Already talked about liking Aldridge. I like Randall a good amount. I don't mind Blake at all. Bogdanovich, never a guy I really get super excited about for DFS purposes. He's too scoring dependent for my liking. Gallinari is, so he was that late scratch in that game. I forgot about that on the 22nd. We'll see. He's questionable for this one. Obviously, if he misses, that's just to boost those other guys. Schroeder, Chris Paul, SGA. Basley would probably get inserted in the starting lineup. So we'll see. That's something we'll have to monitor going into tomorrow. Torian Prince at 5.7K is fine, is a fine option. I just don't see myself getting there personally. Again, Marcus Morris is questionable. If he misses, Julius Randle gets a usage boost. Same with like RJ Barrett. And then Kevin Knox started for him, so we could consider him as a value play. Let's see, other options. Knox, he started. Played 27 minutes, was not that good, right? 14 fantasy points in that time. But if Marcus Morris is out again, you can consider him as a value play because he does have, if his shot's falling, he can get you like over 30 fantasy points. So Trevor Ariza, 4K. I wouldn't mind going back to the well here if Bogdanovich misses. The 2 games Bogdanovich just misses, he played 28 and 35 minutes. Not a super high usage guy, but if he's going to continue to get about 30 minutes, I think you definitely can go there if Bogdan's out once again. Let's see. So Basley here, 3.7K. He started for Gallinari, played 25 minutes. He's a value guy we could look to if Gallinari's out once again. Rudy Gay, the secondary San Antonio pieces are kind of hard to trust. Everyone's minutes are kind of up in the air. I don't mind the price there. I just don't know if I would get there personally. That's really it for power forwards. Let's move on to small forward. So Luka looks like he's going to be good to go. He went through a full practice. So, I think he's going to be good to go for this one. Obviously, he misses. We can look to Porzingis and some of the secondary pieces. But it's looking like he's going to be good to go. And if he's a full go with no limitations, I think he's a good spend up here. There's not a whole lot of like really, really expensive guys to pay up for on the slate. So if you have the salary for comfortable as value guys, obviously Luka's a great play. This is an up-tempo game here against the Spurs. So again, it's just whether or not you feel comfortable with those value guys around him to get him in there. But I do like his upside a good amount there, even at an elevated price at 11.8K if he's not going to be limited. Now again, if he's limited, I probably wouldn't go there at all. Wiggins at 7.8K has been kind of the one guy who has been playing consistent minutes with no cap. Other than that, they've been running again a really deep rotation. You could look to him for sure if Cat misses. I think he's an okay option. I just don't know if he's a great option. DeRozan at 6.5K, so his upside has been a little bit capped with DeJounte Murray coming back. Now, he did have that good game against Memphis. Shot the ball 10 of 11, had 51 fantasy points. This is a situation where I think he's a fine cash game option, right? Like this game, in my opinion, that game against Memphis, kind of an anomaly, that 51 fantasy point game. But I think at this price, he's not going to kill you, right? So I think he's a good cash game option at that price. Buddy Hield, another guy I don't mind at his price, but his minutes are coming down. He did play 39 in the game against Memphis, but that game against Houston only 27, so a little bit up and down. Joe Ingles stands out as another good cash game option in my opinion. 37, 36, 39, 38 minutes. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheets. So this is a guy that I really like playing. I think he's underpriced in an up-tempo game against Portland. So I have a good amount of interest in Joe Ingles. I think he stands out as a safe play with a little bit of upside. Now, these Washington guys, again, everyone is out once again. Troy Brown was kind of the number 3 in the offense. He came in and played 32 minutes. Now, he shot the ball really well, 9 of 15, had 52 fantasy points. I don't think we can expect 52 again from Troy Brown. But again, they're so short-handed that I think even at an elevated price point, he is still in play. Let's see, other options again. Kennard is out. We have Bruce Brown, questionable. So a lot of the Detroit guys are, Detroit's pretty thin as well. Hardaway, so those secondary Dallas pieces with Luka now coming back, I think it would just be a complete stay away from me. Obviously, again, if Luka misses, you can look to these guys. Other options, Bogdan is questionable. If he misses, again, we could look to a value guy like Trevor Ariza, who's been getting some consistent run. So Svi Mikhailuk, with both Bruce Brown and Luke Kennard out that last game against Philly, he played 32 minutes. Now, this is not a guy I get excited about playing for DFS purposes. He's a super low usage guy, but if both those guys are out once again, Detroit would be super short-handed. They wouldn't have a choice, really. So I think Svi, if he starts again, I would have some interest there at 3.7K for sure. And that is really it for small forwards. Let's move on to shooting guard. Beal at the top at 9.9K is the go-to guy. He had a really bad shooting night. 13 of 38. That blows my mind that he shot the ball 38 times just because Washington literally has no one else, right? Like all their bigs are out. Isaiah Thomas, they have no one healthy. So if he's going to shoot the ball 38 times again, obviously got to have interest. Now I don't think he's going to shoot the ball 38 times. This game against Detroit, but I still think he's going to shoot the ball a lot, and he is their go-to guy. He had, kind of an off night in the peripheral stats, but normally he's a guy that will get you rebounds and assists as well. So even at an elevated price point, I think Beal is very much in play there. Dinwiddie at 8.7. Now it's coming up to the point where I think he's priced about right. Like, I liked him under 8K. I liked him in the low 8s. 8.7. It's a good matchup. I'm fine if you get there. Like I said, I think he's priced about right. So no issue if you want to go there with Dinwiddie there at that price. Donovan Mitchell at 8.1K. Another guy that seems priced about right. Don't know if I'm going to get there personally. SGA. So I got to take some interest here in these Oklahoma City guys. Normally, I'm a guy that, if you land those OKC guys, I'm fine with it. But I never go out of my way to really play them. We have Gallinari questionable, and this is a good spot against Memphis. So SGA, Schroeder, I do have interest in a really good matchup. SGA has been playing huge minutes, 39, 36, 34 minutes with over 40 fantasy points his last 3 games. And even Schroeder off the bench has been really good. 30, 32, 34, 33. He's at over 40 fantasy points the last 3 games. So both those guys right now are underpriced for the level of production. Kind of like LaMarcus Aldridge, right? Kind of like Jonas Valanciunas. Their price is not moving. So I have a good amount of interest there in SGA. I have a good amount of interest there in Dennis Schroeder. Don't mind CJ. I think he goes very lower owned. It's a tougher spot, but his price still isn't moving as well. Brunson, again, with Luka now back, most likely, I just can't go to these secondary pieces. Derrick Rose is 6.4K. I think he's a perfectly fine option off the bench. The issue with him is he's not going to play 35 minutes of it, right? He's a guy that probably gets about 25, but he can still get you there in that time. So I don't know if he's a cash game option, but certainly for GPPs there. And again, literally the best possible spot there against Washington. RJ Barrett at 6K, I think is perfectly fine. Personally, I think I would just rather pay a little bit more for guys Julius Randle on the same team. But if your guy's going for a game stack in this game, which is definitely viable, I don't mind RJ Barrett. Yeah, so Bruce Brown again. Kennard out, Bruce Brown questionable. If both those guys are out again, we could look to guys Steve Mikhailuk. We could look to guy like Tim Frazier, who started and was as close to min price. But that is really it. So let's move on to point guard. Archie Bogdanovic, Dinwiddie, Lillard at 8.5K. Again, it's a tough spot. I don't mind the price. I just don't see myself getting there. Chris Paul. Again, these OKC guys have been really solid. He's been a little bit more up and down. I think I would prefer SGA and Schroeder for a little bit less than to Chris Paul. And then one of my favorite plays of the day here, if not my favorite, is De'Aaron Fox, 7K. His price only went up a little bit. He's back in the starting lineup. He played 36 minutes of the game against Houston. They ran, I think it was an 8-man rotation, Sacramento did. So Minnesota plays at a fast pace. Again, this is one of the better spots, and his price barely moved. So De'Aaron Fox, one of my favorite plays of the day here at 7K. Really like him still. John Morant, don't mind him at 6.9. He's a guy that probably gets around 30 minutes. He's been hasn't flashed a huge upside of late, but he is a guy that can get you 40 to 50 fantasy points on a good night. So price under 7K, I think he's an okay option there. Ish Smith, so he started, only played 25 minutes though. They ran with, where is he? Gary Payton off the bench. I'll talk about him in a sec, but Ish Smith started, only played 25. I thought he would get a little bit more. Played pretty well in that time. 8 of 14, had 30 fantasy points. Again, the concern with him now is to have a guy, Gary Payton, who they brought up from the G League, who played 34 minutes and had 44 fantasy points. Now, he did have 6 steals, right? This is an outlier game, in my opinion. I would not expect 44 fantasy points again from Gary Payton, and he's 6K. So if you're going to make me choose between Ish Smith and Gary Payton, I'm just going to lean towards Ish Smith, who's been the more proven NBA player. DeJounte Murray at 5.7. I think he is still a little bit underpriced. He's a guy that's probably going to get close to 30 minutes in a close game. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. And, like I said, I think he's a little bit underpriced. So I have some interest in DeJounte Murray at that price point. Jeff Teague, the secondary Minnesota pieces beside Wiggins, the minutes have been all over the place. I just can't trust it right now. Alfred Payton, another guy that I do have a good amount of interest in at 5.3. So they said he's going to be the Knicks interim coach said he's going to be starting point guard moving forward. He had 27 and 30 minutes the last couple of games. He's a guy that fills up the stat sheet. I love playing guys like this because they don't necessarily have to score, right? Peyton will get you their assists, rebounds, and on nights where he's having a good shooting night, you can have that huge ceiling game. So I do look out for Peyton a good amount. Hopefully these minutes stay consistent with him, like close to 30 minutes, because if he gets close to 30 minutes again, I do like him a good amount at that price. Jordan Clarkson got traded. I don't know if he's going to be active for this one. That's something we'll have to monitor going into tomorrow. If he's going to be active and play decent minutes, I would like him at this price, but don't know if we're going to get that information. So, yeah, again, that'll be something we have to monitor going into tomorrow. So Tim Frazier, again, if both obviously Luke Kennard is out. If Bruce Brown is out again, Detroit just is very, very thin at the guard position. He played 28 and 23 minutes in back-to-back games. I would have some interest. Like, he's not going to play huge minutes, but at this price point, he doesn't have to do a whole lot. And again, it's one of the best spots. So I would have some interest there in Tim Frazier if Bruce Brown is out once again. And that is basically it. So again, guys, brief overview of the slate. As far as like my favorite games to game stack, if I'm doing game stacking for GPPs, it's probably, Washington, Detroit, New York, Brooklyn, and then probably Memphis, OKC. Probably those first three games would be the best to game stack. Just on the Washington side in general. Well, the Washington-Detroit game I think is going to be pretty popular because both teams are really, really short-handed. And again, it's the highest over-under of the day. So that game is going to be pretty popular. I also like the Knicks-Brooklyn game, like I said. The Memphis-OKC game is a lot of guys that are just underpriced. San Antonio and Dallas, obviously like Luka at the top. There's some appealing plays on the San Antonio side with Aldridge, DeJounte Murray. Minnesota-Sacramento, I really like De'Aaron Fox. The Minnesota side, they've been running a pretty deep rotation of cats back. I would have some interest there. Portland, Utah is the late night hammer. This is a game I probably actually have the least interest in besides Joe Ingles. I think Joe Ingles would probably be my favorite play in that game. But that is basically it for the 6-game slate. So if you have been enjoying the content, guys, I would really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe. It is important to follow me on Twitter. That will be in the description below. I'll give my thoughts as we get news throughout the day. Also, I will be live streaming for the 6-game slate probably 45 minutes before lock on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check it out. But thanks again for everyone to come and check out the video, guys. I hope you guys all had a great Christmas, and I will see you tomorrow in the live stream.